Frank, can you hear me? So we are live now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are live. Yes. So,
Okay. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. So I'll just maybe give a small introduction about myself. I'm Sandilya. I'm basically from Andhra. Guntur is my hometown, and I was part of. I was a student back in 2001 at NIT JAMSHEDPUR. I passed out in 2005. I did mechanical engineering there. So yeah, I have like so many good memories about the college. College taught me so many things in life skills, tough times, and like good times. Uh, yeah, so I've been working with Citibank for the last 10, 12 years in Singapore. And before that, I used to work in Hyderabad and Pune for a short stint with Canbay and Capgemini. I got placed when I was in college through Canbay. So Canbay, that was in 2005. I started my career as a cards mainframe developer with Canbay, so in Hyderabad. Then I worked there for about a year or so and moved to Pune. I was in Pune for about a year and a half. Came back to Hyderabad, and then I was more like I'm from the cards like mainframe developer, and then do other roles like analyst and team lead and all that. And then I got an opportunity to work with Citibank here in Singapore, and then I moved here back in 2008, 9, and I've been here ever since. So yeah, college. I'm just so happy. I feel very happy to connect with you all. Like I said, I have just so many good memories uh, about college. I made friends for life there, and so many things, good things. And work-wise, currently I work here in the consumer technology space as a project manager, release manager. We do software upgrades for Citibank systems, consumer technology application systems across the products, from different products within the bank. So like cards, retail, banking, wealth, digital applications, and so on and so forth. So we support both Asia and EMEA markets out of Singapore. So it's a big technology center that we have here, and it's pretty big. And CITI is of course a global organization. We have presence in pretty much every continent you speak of, and I work more on the consumer technology space. So we have other organizations like corporate technology, and other private banking, lot of other verticals and organizations within Citibank. So if I have to talk about my college, so I think our batch was one of those very last batches which had aggressive and aggressive ragging. We were like, in the first year, I was like, you just come out of from a different place, and then to the college. And I used to get beaten up black and blue. You don't know who is beating you, why they are beating you. It's just a very tough phase where you just come to the college, and then best part is you don't know who is beating you. You're supposed to always look down, and so you can't look at the senior in your eye and all that. So it was about 6 to 9 months period first year where it's a very tough experience. Just pretty much you're supposed to wear a standard uniform throughout, day in day out, and if anybody comes to your room or whatever at the middle of the night, even in the middle of the night, you're supposed to be in that dress, greet them, and then not look at them, get beaten up, be happy about it. So it's just been it really taught a lot of things as well, because it's just like a shift in your life from a comfort zone where your parents never touched you, and you go to a college very far from your place, and Suddenly things are very different, right? So, but there you make very close bonds there, and you make friends for life there. So, together it teaches a lot of skills, life skills, like not giving up, and being together, working with each other, so and so forth. And it comes a long way when you look back at it helps you in one way or another. And it's been a very enriching experience. I mean, in college, we were always like among those backbenchers, not so uh, not so padaku, but yeah, just trying to you know have fun. You come out and get some freedom, so you misuse it, and then you just kind of try to have fun as much as you can. And yeah, suddenly before you realize it's like the second year and you are having strikes. We had strikes. We used to just go home with a very short notice, and it's like a 36-hour journey from my hometown to the college. I remember so many train travels, just with a short notice of 1 day, 2 days. You just take a general compartment, you just get into it, and you don't have all those reservations. Just go in a general compartment, travel for a day or a day and a half, and yeah, pretty much sit on that what you call that train entrance, right? So all that. So it's basically a roller coaster ride. Uh, and yeah, I was very active in sports when I was in college. We used to play cricket. I was like almost all the time in the cricket ground playing cricket, and both in the up hostel, down hostel. So I don't know how it is now, but we had very good cricket grounds thanks to the big campus that we have. So used to play cricket, and yeah, we were, yeah, I have many fond memories out of it. I mean, we represented our college like in the sports festival back in BHU. We went to BHU, and I think that year we won the championship for those like the competing colleges, right? So I mean, we didn't win anything in cricket, but overall, our batch went whatever we went. I mean, we did well, and it was one of those good memories that I have. So after college, I went once for my convocation. That was back in 2006 or seven, and yeah, and I never got an opportunity to go to college after that. I've been in touch on and off like in the last few years through these programs like Sankalp, and I feel they are very good programs. People try to do well, just do something good for the society. This is all like a very welcoming changes that I've noticed over the last few years. Sankalp was one like where you try to do something at a social level, and there's Alumni Talks is another like a very good way of reaching out to your seniors, being in touch and trying to see if we can learn from each other. So I think it's a very welcoming change. A lot of things would have changed in college. Obviously, it's been such a long time since 2005 till now. But yeah, that I'm sure that it would be most of it would be a positive change. Like back then, it was very chaotic. Not much of yeah. I mean, but now I think yeah, like the way I see things happening around, it's much more yeah. You guys are much more knowledgeable and aware. You have access to all the tools. Social media is doing wonders. So yeah, that's a good thing I can notice. Work wise, I don't know, Mayank, if you want me to share something in terms of my work, what I do, how it helps you, or just anything that you have a
Yes.
question on. I saw some questions about finance. I don't know,
Basically,
Ravi sent. Yeah, go ahead.
yes. So basically, sir, we are looking. So as you talked about yourself, you talked about your college life, and So when did you decide, so that you wanted to go in this field, like as an analyst or as a business in the field of business analysis and this finance? So
Okay, to be honest, I just went with the flow. I mean, we Canbay was one of those, because I did mechanical engineering. I'm not from a software background, and I wasn't doing well in core like mechanical, side of things as well, right? Because I had never had an interest also. So it was more like for me, to be honest, the degree was more like a gateway to getting a job, right? So it's a good college. I mean, you come far, thinking that you'll get placed. It's pretty much that was about it. I never had a path, to be honest. I went with the flow, and yeah, Canbay was one of those companies who was back then recruiting, looking at not the software skills, but more of aptitude and communication skills and things like that. So I could get through that. I mean, I didn't know the ABCD of programming when I joined Canbay, right? I was a fresher. So when you're a fresher, you're a clean slate. You get to learn from the scratch, and that's what I did. So yeah, like any fresher. So it was not a
and then
predetermined
how
plan,
did
definitely, to go into finance and all this, right? It was a natural progression.
yes. So then how did Citibank happen then? So you went into campaign. Then how did how did you end up at Citibank? And tell us something about your life in Citibank, like the work culture there, and what are the things that you like about it as a company?
Yeah, Citibank. Okay, so Citibank happened, yeah, out of pure chance. I mean, my friend floated my resume without me knowing, to a friend he knows here in Singapore, when I was working back in Hyderabad, and he was a job consultant here. I mean, there's a job consultancy company here in Singapore. To him, to which he has sent, I mean, my resume to him, and he didn't even tell me that. And luckily, that profile matched, I mean, with one of those positions which like Citibank was looking at here. So they called me and then had a telephonic interview, and I could manage to crack it. So and that's how I ended up here. So yeah, it was not planned, but yeah, it just happened. And Citibank is, of course, a very reputed organization. It's one of the biggest in the world in the financial sector. Uh, so it has like a global presence, right? So you get to learn about a lot of things when you're working in Citi, because of its sheer presence across the globe. There are so many things happening in different markets. The way things are done, like they would vary. Like the products offered, the regulatory requirements that you have across the markets vary. So work-wise, it's been a very. I mean, most of my learning was on-the-job learning throughout my career, and Citi, yeah, provided an excellent platform for that. And over the years, I've just done few roles, so I just kind of try to climb the ladder slowly. But yeah, the learning was there throughout, and because of its global presence, then the work attitude is like very professional here. People take work seriously. They take yeah, the work-life balance seriously. So it's not all work and no play, but you get to do things, I mean, outside work as well. So there's a good mixture of work-life balance, I would say. And as you move along, you try to you tend to learn to better manage your time between work and outside of work, like be it family or pursue your interests. And yeah, so it's you get it over a period of time, but you should have a platform to be able to make use of it. And then here, luckily, things work like that, right? So it's yeah, so it's like a smooth sail so far. I would say, yeah.
So now that now you're in Citibank, it's been quite a time. So you're now in a commanding position at the firm. But for someone who just got in, or someone who is looking to get in, what is the mean? There's a lot of buzz about how is the promotion scenario? What are the perks? And of course, the financial security is one concern. So, what is your opinion on that, sir?
Okay, I would say take it slow. I mean, it's good to be ambitious. You should have a goal and you should work towards it. But okay, if you're talking about a fresher, right, joining a company, be it any company, just my suggestion would be
Yes.
to focus on basics.
So,
First 3-4 years of your career, you try to learn the basics, because you're starting as a clean slate. You can absorb whatever the opportunity that you get to learn. So when you are strong in basics, maybe it's like software job. I mean, see, I work on the software side of things as well, even though I work in a bank. So the mainframe, like I said, the cards developer, right? I started my career as a developer. So basically, I would say focus on learning the basic skills that comes with your initial part of the job. And when you're strong in basics, eventually you are able to take up bigger responsibilities. And then the promotions, perks, and the growth, everything happens when you are able to take up more responsibilities and deliver things exceeding expectations. So it should be like a natural progression, and it doesn't happen overnight. But when your foundations are strong and you work hard with the basics, then slowly, you eventually end up doing well.
I guess that answers all those queries. And
But take it slow.
for
I mean,
first of all,
don't. I would say take it slow, because just it's good to be ambitious, right? There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. I mean, you will have a goal to work with and all, but then when you sometimes tend to run faster than what you can take in, then if you should be able to see, okay, deal with failures, rejections. So all this is, I mean, it happens everywhere with everyone. There is no exception, right? And the thing is how well you react to a failure, how well you take a rejection, is equally important as how well you do or celebrate your success. So uh, yeah, don't be afraid to fail, especially in the initial, like when you're 23, 24 till 27, 28. You are like, you have so many opportunities, like you see what you can grab and explore and try. And you might like something, like few people are very structured. I mean, don't take me as an example, because I went always with the flow in my life. I never really planned things. But yeah, I went with the flow, and luckily, I would say most of it fell in place. But uh, if you have, like, few people are not like that. It's good to have a plan in place, work hard towards it, and then there's just no set formula. But don't be afraid to try things. If you fail, see what was the learning out of it, and if you're succeed, then of course you can go to the next step. You can try to achieve more. So, but more importantly, try to have a positive outlook about career, life in general, and then just, yeah, uh,
so
don't take things
yes.
too seriously.
Yes, sir. I guess so. So now, see, as engineers, that 4 years of engineering,
Yeah, sorry, what is it?
we don't study economics or something like that. But for the so since you are in this field, for those who aspire to go there, what is the kind of preparation of what things you have to do or in order to get there? I mean, some you need to do some things like take some course or something like that. What kind of preparations go in so for an engineer to get into finance or similar field like an analyst or something?
Engineer to get into finance. Okay, so I mean, a bank is huge, right? Like, we have roles, like both on the business side. We work. I mean, I work in the technology space, so I'm like more in the back end. So I don't have a customer facing role. But if you're talking about finance, it's huge in itself. Like if you're talking about business side of things, then an engineer doing an MBA after his graduation, he can choose like finance as a specialization, and then you get a job in a bank on the business side of things. So that's a path. That's a path. An engineer working on the software side of things, and slowly, you get a job, a chance to shift the organization, like shift the different verticals within the organization, like say going from software to over to the business side, like either through a career progression over a period of time, but you don't have the patience to wait, and then you want things quick, then probably do an MBA, and then see if you can move to the business side of things. If you're an engineer, to start with, I don't think you'll probably get a very mid-level management or like a finance role to start with. I mean, 2-3 years, I would say, to be honest. Like, I mean, people, uh, all these big banks, they do look for individuals with more experience. Let's say, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to benchmark it, but 4 or 5 years, like. But if you really have a strong passion to go into finance side of things, then you should explore an option of doing an MBA, and after graduation, of course, and then take up a job, do a specialization of finance, and then go into a bank as a business manager, working on finance side of things. But so I think that's the path I can think of.
Yes. So sir, now there were these multitude of questions on interviews. So how do you prepare yourself for an interview? How do you maintain your calmness, and most importantly, how do you clear that? So I think at least 10 to 12 questions in the form were only about interviews. So I kind of summed that up. So how do you sum up an interview experience?
Okay, I think I won't. I mean, I understand that it's a very, nervous. You can get nervous, right? For an interview, I was nervous, so I won't lie about it. I was nervous. And then I was like, from a mechanical engineer, right? Applying for a software company, and nothing to show. I don't know anything about software programming or any. I don't have any skills out there. But I've cleared interviews over a period of time to get here and then work here, and internally I like managed to climb up a bit. So what I can tell you is, like, maybe let's say you are like with a fresher, right? If I'm taking someone, I would basically look at. I know that I won't have a high expectations about him in terms of what are his technical skills, programming skills, what are the skill sets and all, because I know he's a fresher. What I would look for is how positive you are, how confident you are. If you don't know something, don't be afraid to say I don't know. But again, at the same time, show the willingness to learn. Say that you should, like, you tell that I am willing to learn whatever it takes. So show the positive side of things, and try to be confident, and just take it. I mean, like, don't rush into things. I mean, just try to be positive, calm as much as possible. I know it's tough. It's not easy to, it's easy to say, but not really easy to practice. But remain confident. More importantly, I would look for people who have a positive attitude, who are willing to learn, and if you can put that message across, then I would say you have a very good chance. And because if you're a fresher, honestly, I wouldn't really go into a great detail about what you know. So I would look for a person who is able to, who I feel that he's able to take up things, can do things with a good amount of guidance and training, and as long as I am satisfied with that, I'll go with. That's how I would approach. So you should from another side of table, because okay. So when I got interviewed back in 2005. So I think I failed one or two interviews before TCS. I think I didn't clear the psychometry test. There was another company which I didn't get to the next round. So Canbay was more or less a last option for me, because there's a lot of core companies that were coming up after that. I know I'm not good at core. I never had the core skills. So effectively, it was like one of those few companies who were taking mechanical and civil engineers without asking for too much of software skills, right? So Canbay was one of those companies back then. So it was more like a last shot for me, but I was so scared. I try to remain positive, and after a point of time, actually the interviewer made me feel comfortable. So that is the luck side of thing as well. Like he was not so aggressive, and he made me feel comfortable, and I could answer all those simple questions what they were asking. They were pretty much looking for the same what I told you. I mean, they are not really asking for any of my software skills or anything. And when the names were announced, I think I remember still I was like so scared. I was the last guy who they announced as I got selected, right? So what more I can say? So yeah.
Yes, so I guess that must, yes, yeah, that must have been an experience to remember forever, sir. So yeah, so one of these questions was like this, that even if your preparation is not like you have prepared a lot, there's no guarantee that you'll succeed in your first time or something like that. So how do you prepare yourself for rejections or to handle failures? Because
I think it's good to talk about it. A lot of people don't talk about it. So if you drink, have a drink. Just vent it out. Just vent it out and see. Like maybe try to ponder about what better you could have done. But see, more importantly, you should not lose hope, right? So as long as it's not the end of the it's not end of anything. So it's just like what, 22 23, we are 22 23 when we pass out of college, and then you didn't get a job in the college, fine. So what next? So I mean, on the hindsight, I started working ever since I passed out. I tried to do my MBA initial 3-4 years. I had some other commitments, and then somehow I didn't end up doing MBA, and I'm working till date. I never got a chance to finish my post graduation till date. So take it, see what you can take positively. So you can do post graduation if you're not placed. Let's say there are always options. So it's just about what interests you to move forward, and it's just not a big deal, I would say. I know it sounds easy to say, but as long as you remain hopeful, don't lose hope, and be positive, you can always turn things around. It's not rocket science that that we're trying to achieve here. But I know you guys are much more, I would say, more engaged, more aware, more we never had any of these avenues back then. So we were just in a cocoon. Like, I mean, we never spoke to anyone outside college. Like, we were in our own world when, like, so. But you are more, I would say, aware. You have exposure. You reach out to people, talk to them. So I would say things will be better for you. I mean, you have no reason to be overly worried. But just try to find a way to move forward, and you will always, like, kind of it's nothing like, come on, it's a job. If you don't get it here, you can do something better, and you'll get it eventually.
So there were a lot of questions that especially in sectors such as banking or finance, or for that matter, any sector in today's corporate world. How important do you think soft skills are? Your communication skills, how much do
Yeah.
they matter apart from the technical part?
Yeah, I wanted to cover that. I mean, maybe I'll try to emphasize more. Okay, so if you have a good IQ, probably to start with, intelligent quotient, you can, maybe it will give you a break, and so getting a job or clearing interview, or maybe I don't know, just getting us admission in a college, good college, all that. But eventually, as you start working in a company, like, so soft skills, whatever you call it, EQ, emotional quotient, so it I feel it plays a very big role over a period of time, in terms of you growing up the corporate ladder. Because see, when you are working with people day in day out. In my job, I interact with so many people every day. So I build relationships of mutual trust and respect with so many people on a day-to-day basis, and it always helps me in getting things done, and putting my point across. Sometimes taking feedback. It's just not always giving feedback. Be patient to learn, to listen. So a lot of people don't listen much, right? They're always, even if you go into a GD, it's just remember that group discussion. It's equally important to listen what the other person is saying, and then you will get your time to put forth your point, right? Just don't kind of be in a hurry to jump onto things. So EQ is absolutely important if you want to do well in your career over a period of time, because with people, because you're working with people, if you want to be considered as a good leader, uh, people will look at you. I mean, people has to look up to you to things. You should be the positive influencing factor around you know around your team, or around your like the set of teams that you work with. And you have to, I think, be conscious about the fact that you know it plays an important role in your day-to-day work. So how you treat people, how you talk to them, how you show respect, and how you not get bullied. It doesn't work one way. So it's a two-way street. uh, so it goes a long way in growing up the ladder. If you have a good EQ, yeah, it's very important, I would say. Skills can be learned. You can learn skills. There are trainings to you know uh, learn different skill sets. We have regular trainings in my company. I mean, uh, what is required for my job. So we do have regular trainings. We learn, but some of these soft skills, they are not. In fact, we have trainings on EQ. I mean, the soft skills as well. So that explains the importance of like what the organizations are trying to view, how important it is for them. And yeah, it is something we have to work on continuously if you want to do well in your career.
I guess that sums that up. So before live Q&A, we'll take this last question. So we circulated this form, sir, and there were some real finance enthusiasts, and they were like, "Please ask sir this question." So I'll take one of
Yeah,
them.
I
So
was.
there's this Yes, sir. There's this taboo related to stock market, and for young, so these young enthusiasts who are looking to invest in stock market, or are want to know about stock market. What is your opinion on this? So what do you think about stock market and the taboo that surrounds that? You should stay away from it.
Okay, yeah, I got this question. Okay, so stock market. Okay, so if you want to trade, you want to invest in stock market. So every customer is has a risk profile. The risk varies from low, medium, and high. Everyone is different. So when you want to invest, you are basically you go through this risk profiling, and then they'll categorize you under either under an umbrella: low, medium, high risk, right? So the stocks that you invest on is like categorized into these buckets as well: low, medium, and high. And depending on so if you ask me, I'm like, I would say maybe a medium risk. I have a medium risk appetite, so I would want a certain level of surety on my principal, the amount that I invest. At the same time, an average or above average returns would do for me. So if you have a high risk appetite, that means you invest money, you expect high returns in a very short frame of time. At the same time, the risks associated with those stocks are high as well. You might end up losing money, and you shouldn't complain because you're taking the gamble, right? If you have a low risk appetite, pretty much you are like, you put the money, you want the assurance on your principal, and um, you are okay with even medium to low returns on your investment, right? So if you think about it, there is nothing like a taboo that you should not enter into stock market or whatever. I would even say that financial planning is absolutely important when you start the career, right, at the beginning. If stocks interest you, go for it. But yeah, maybe, and the risk profile changes over a period of time, right? As you age, with the additional responsibilities and things happening in your life, your risk appetite changes. So you can always get rebracketed, and vary your portfolio from high to medium, medium to low, low to medium, all that, right? Depending on your financial stability and what you want, what kind of returns you want. So I would say, yeah, just it's more to do with the awareness, right? So when we don't know certain things, you will be averse, you wouldn't want to venture into that area. So this is something like that, right? I never, in fact, I mean, I was conservative, I would say. So I never invested in stocks to start with. First, like first 10 years of my career, but last 4 or 5 years probably I've done something. So because I'm more aware in terms of what works well for me. I've been invested in mutual funds and all, and which I haven't done earlier. So the traditional methods of savings, like putting the money in a fixed deposit, or investing in a house or things like that, right? Property, all those, like those are the traditional safe havens. But stocks, all for it. But the thing is, you have to be aware of what you're getting into. So knowledge is equally important. It's just that you can't say that just put money, but at the same time not know. So as much as information that you should know about the stocks, like the high return, high risk, high return ones. So they are like, you have to understand really the way those companies work, how they function, what are the predictions in the like next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and then where you stand in terms of your risk appetite, whether like how much you are willing to gamble, right? So you can do that. If not, then the low risk, low risk ones are like the debentures and government bonds, capital bonds. They give a low return, but they assure capital. They assure your principal. So whatever amount you invest as a principal, you will more or less have guarantee of that. But with maybe a near fixed deposit returns like 5%. I think these days the FD rates are low as well in India, right? 5-6%, I think. So, but you don't lose money, and it works for you. So there's no fixed answer, but yeah, you just have to be more aware of what you're getting
I
into.
guess
There's nothing like I don't want to, it's risk. Yes, it is risk, but then it varies. The risk varies. What is your appetite? How much you're willing to do?
yes, exactly. So I guess that sums it up. I guess that sums up the question. So now I think we can open the live Q&A session. So yeah. So the first question is how to myself and stay calm during an interview when getting nervous. So yeah,
Okay. Talk to your friends, maybe like when you're waiting for an interview. Uh, Pray. Let's say, I mean, some people like, they just find some solace in just doing a short prayer and, uh, there's deviate. See, okay, so you have done enough preparation for your interview. You maybe that whatever it can be, like what questions you expect, then what you should answer, all that you have done, right? And then in an interview, you can't read into the interviewer's mind at the end of the day anyway. So he can ask anything. He can start from anywhere, go anywhere. Uh, so this, so I would say at least the day of the interview, or maybe the a day before you attend the interview, just stop preparing. Uh, do something which you like. Do something which keeps you positive. Okay, like I said, I'm into sports. I mean, I play tennis regularly. So if I have a stressful situation, I sometimes maybe take a short break. I play a game. And then that's my way of venting out my pressure, and I feel much better after after a game, and then I'm able to probably do better. So everyone will have their own, right? So there's no like fixed thing you should do this or that, but whatever keeps you happy and positive, just try to do that on the day of the interview or maybe a day before the interview, and laugh about things, talk to your friends, just be around them. Yeah, and I'm sure it'll go well. So because when you work hard, so there are two things to it, right? So how much hard work you've done, but what you're performing on the day, both count, both matter, right? Is uh, you don't prepare anything and then just go anyway, it's going to go bomb. So, but you have to prepare, you have to work hard, but then it's equally important how well you perform, right? But how to perform well in the sense is when you're relaxed, when you're calm, that's when you can perform at your optimal level. And whatever it takes to do that, I think you should do that. Don't prepare on the day of interview, the day before. Okay, we're talking about interviews, but then I'll tell you an interesting story. I mean, like all my exams that we used to prepare back in the college, it was always the last day, last 2 days. It was never like I was never very studious, but yeah, but I always passed all the exams. So the just 2 days before the exam, you just sit and then just learn something and then give the exam or however, whatever, right? And after I got placed, and I was like so lucky. I one subject in the final semester I got P. P is like just pass or something, right? If I would have failed that exam, I would have lost my job. So uh, don't get complacent. On that note, right? Just don't loosen up totally. But I think I celebrated too much after I got a job. But uh, yeah, stay focused. But at the same time, if you take things too seriously, I think sometimes it works against you. So you should try to deviate your mind. Do something that you like, and then come back. Then probably you'll perform better than what you expected.
I guess.
So MBA really
So
necessary.
next is MBA. Yes, sir.
Like VP,
Okay, so
etc. Okay. Okay. VP. Okay, mine. I didn't do an MBA. VP is, first of all, it's a mid-level management in my. I mean, it's not a very extraordinary position or whatever, right? Just to tell you that there are so many VPs in my bank, so it's just not. It is okay. It comes under the mid-management umbrella. So MBA, for my suggestion would be for people who want to do MBA, because you want VP. If you want to do MBA, that's another question. But if you want to do MBA, please do it in the first 3-4 years, or maybe 4-5 years after you pass out from the college, because you'll get an early advantage of the next level of roles probably to start with, and institutions, depending on the specialization that you take. And after you cross 8 years, 7, 8 years, 9 years of experience, then you go into that next umbrella, like where you're overqualified to do an MBA, and at the same time, uh, maybe you have to look at other options like executive MBA courses, which cost you a bomb. If you want to do an executive MBA in a good college, it really is expensive, right? So two parts to it. Okay, if you want to do MBA, do it in. My suggestion would be to do it in the first 3, 4 years after passing out from a college. That's the best time where you have lesser responsibilities and commitments, and you can spend more time for studies. Um, and then for promotion, okay, so for promotion, there it works two ways, right? One is like you're qualified, get an MBA, and then do well in a good college, then get into a financial institution. All these guys, they go for campus placements, I guess. Sure. All the good MBA colleges. I think Citibank goes in India. Um, so you can get a job there, of course, with MBA, and then start as an intern, and then we have designations. So as you move up the ladder, so you get, I think, fairly quicker. You can get that. The other way is like you climb up the ladder from an associate manager, and then AVP, and then VP. So that is like a promotion step by step, climb up the ladder. And here, I mean, normally I've seen that, I don't know, it should be the same case like in many other corporate organizations. People who are playing the next role, right, in their day-to-day work, who are able to take accountability, take responsibilities and performing that role for a period of time, are looked at, good prospects, and then they get the promotion. So it's not the other way around. So you get a promotion, then you do additional responsibility, you take up additional responsibilities, and then work. So I think it works the other way around. How much initiative you can take, how much you can learn, how much you can show that you're positive, you are delivering things, new set of responsibilities you're able to take and handle them. That people that gives a confidence to your manager, and then the people, your seniors, that this guy can take up the next role, and then you get the promotion. So with a financial year, like as per your schedule. So there are two ways to it. However, works for you. I mean,
I guess that sums it up. So yeah, what is a typical day like? Like what do you do, the projects and your working environment? So yeah, typical day of a Citibank vice president. What's it like, sir?
thanks to work from home, I've been working from home since last year, right? March. I get so much more time, personal time here, because I can manage my schedule, my meetings. I can just schedule. I take my meetings from home, right, through Zoom and all. So, uh, earlier, you have this additional time you spend to travel, go to the office, and all, right? So that is all taken. Like, it's not required now. So it gives me extra time to pursue my interests. So I wake up in the morning, play tennis every day, almost every day in the morning. Come back, uh, and pray for some time, about 20 minutes a day in the morning, and then, of course, usual, have a breakfast. I start my work around 9:30 here, local time, 9:30, and then my work goes on till because I support the EMEA markets, European markets, within Citi, so they start a bit late. We have the time zone difference of 7 hours now. So afternoons are usually busier from 3 p.m., 4 p.m. onwards. Once the business comes in, I have meetings till 6, sometimes 7 p.m. And then I wind up around 7. If I wind up early, then I go for a walk again in the evening with my wife, or I take my son out, play. I play with him, just take him out. If I have a meeting, sometimes I have my peaks and lows in my work. So 2 weeks in a month is busy, 2 weeks is lean in a month. So yeah, I try to make use of the time, the lean time, and peak time. Anyway, you have no choice. When you're supposed to do something, you of course have to do it, right? So those 2 weeks is a bit busier. But I try to spend as much time outdoor as possible, playing, going around. I'm not really going around in COVID, like partying and all, but getting more, being more physically active.
I guess that answers it. We'll take two, three more questions, and then we'll move towards the end of the session. There are a lot of questions in the chat box, but we have time constraints. So, okay, so this question is interesting. So, do women have to work
Do women have to work harder to prove
harder
themselves in
to reach
finance?
social sector or any?
For many female CEOs, women have to work twice harder. Is the labor slab equal for both genders? Wow, this is a very sensitive question. Okay, my CEO is a woman, right? Jane Fraser is the CEO for Citibank. So Michael Corbett stepped down a few weeks back. So Jane took office, I think, last week. So she's a woman, powerful woman. In my organization, last few years, I've noticed a distinct difference in terms of the focus being put on increasing the diversity, increasing the women leaders, seniors. I mean, making them like come up the ladder, like or whatever, like pay discrimination, the promotions. So there's just so much of focus in in for women to do for them to do well. Women obviously have many challenges in life, right? So sometimes some are unfair because you're supposed to do additional responsibilities. But I think that's how things are. But corporate wise, I mean, at least in my organization, I can say that there is an equal opportunity for both women and men to do well. And in fact, there is an additional focus on women to give them more flexibility in terms of work, in terms of the opportunities, giving them opportunities to do well. So I don't want to sound like a MCP, but it's actually not very tough for women these days. As long as there's no reason to be. They're like equally smart. They can work hard. Maybe in few industries, I don't know, in India, I don't know how things are across the board, but in corporate world, I could not just Citibank. I can say that across organizations, there is a clear focus in terms of giving more opportunities to women and show a path to them to be able to, go up the ladder, perform well, and all that, right? So things are changing and changing fast. So there's no way for a woman to be, left alone or left behind. It doesn't. It's not the case anymore.
I, I think that's good news. And yeah, so next question. I guess this will be the last or second last question. What can be the reason that Citibank doesn't visit our campus? And what skills would you choose to recruit from NIT JSR?
Okay, I don't work in the HR, but Citibank usually in India. Okay, we have a big office in Chennai and another one in Pune. Citi works with a lot of service providers. I mean, TCS and Wipro are our biggest service providers in terms of providing the staff, and we have the permanent staff. I mean, within the organization as well. But Citi, it's a political question. I don't know why they don't come, but I can say that they do look for a certain level of experience before they can take up people. And internships, we are open to internships. We have, I mean, in my team, we had the interns here, whom I've worked with, I've trained them, and they have gone on to get converted as perm staff, and then they are doing well. So in India, probably, I mean, we have internships as well. In terms of direct recruitments for freshers, I don't know if it is not happening, but there is a certain level of experience and skills that I think City expects to start with. And you can always get in touch with I don't know if I can see I can find some contacts and HR people. HR is a different department, right, altogether, so they can see if they do go to MBA colleges, I'm sure, premium MBA colleges and all, probably India. NIT JAMSHEDPUR, hopefully one day. Good luck.
Fingers crossed. Yes, sir. Okay, I guess if there's any, this will be our last question, I guess. So, will the corporate world undergo any major transformations in the near future pertaining to the COVID-19 circumstances?
Oh, it already has. Things have changed drastically since last year, like I said, right? So I've been working from home. We have done software upgrades sitting at home every month for the last 1.5 years. I mean, not 1.5, yeah, since last year, March. So we are moving to digital, like the digital transformation initiatives were already, actively pursued over the last few years, even before COVID started. Because we are moving to digital, increasingly digital, making the things straight through processing. I mean, straight through processing for so many services uh, uh, are already enabled for us. Like if you're a Citibank customer, you can just go to your app, mobile banking app, and you can do many of the basic services. Not just basic services, but you can subscribe to many new products. You can use your current products using the app without having to go to a branch. uh, I mean, I haven't gone to a branch in the last 10 years, so I don't need to go to branch. That's how our systems are enhanced to service the customers. So not just Citibank, but the go-to, like you would have heard this term so much on this, right? Digital transformation initiatives. It's happening across the industry, and it will continue. COVID has accelerated that whole thing, I would say, right? Because COVID happened with a very short notice, and people had to react. So industries, banks, the corporations had to react fast, and everyone is trying to do that, and it's going to stay, right? This year, next year, yeah, few years, and the way the whole working model, I see that it's going to change, because we are able to do things sitting at home. I mean, I've been working from home, and we are able to deliver things, and yeah, many of my colleagues. So it's just not one industry, my bank, or like my organization. It's happening across the board.
So, yeah, I guess. Okay, one more question. So, how secure is data in today's world? Now and then
Data is getting
we see news, and so what is your view on this?
Yeah, data and analytics and cybersecurity is a very specific department for us. We put a lot of emphasis on data security. Each of our change that we do in the digital channel, which is used by the customer, goes through vulnerability assessment checks, ethical hacking tests done, every month for every change that goes live in production. So that is used by the customer in internet banking website or a mobile banking app. So and data. So cybersecurity is very, of course, I mean, it's a big department in itself in my organization, and there's a lot of emphasis. We keep upgrading the infrastructure to support, to be more safe, to be able to store, because we are dealing with customer data. So it's confidential, it's securely kept, and it's securely transmitted. We work with a lot of partners, vendors. So to and fro, all that data transmission and data storage is totally secure. Big data. Was it a question on big data, or you're talking more on cybersecurity?
I guess he's talking about data breaches, now and then we hear news about data breaches. Some company,
Yeah.
some
Facebook had
yes, yes, Cambridge
Facebook had
Analytica.
last year.
Yes. Yes, similar to that. Yeah.
People are learning from it, but yeah, banks take data security very seriously.
Yes. I guess then that answers us it all, and with this, we'll close the Q&A session. Uh, Before wrapping up, there's this one last question, sir. That it's kind of a tradition that I've been following. That I keep this as the last question. You talked about your memories at NIT Jamshedpur. You talked about your ragging experiences. Uh, what is your fondest memory of NIT Jamshedpur? The one that you will cherish for your entire lifetime.
It's a tough one. I have many, like I
The
said.
best.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was playing cricket. I said right always when I was in college, and we were trying to get part sponsorship and arrange a tournament, a floodlight tournament in the college, and that was first of its kind. So of course we didn't have the money or the resources to do that. We tried pulling people, get some sponsorships and all that. Some of it materialized, some of it didn't, and we made it through. So we managed to collect the funds within us, and then across the different branches and in my college, was it third year? I think third year. Yeah. So we managed to do that floodlight tournament, and it was a big success. I was like, it's just an amazing experience. We played. I played the finals. We won the match. We won the tournament, so it's even more special for me. But I felt it was an amazing, achievement with given the resources and the money and all that we had at the time. So it is a very special memory that I have from college.
I guess even today.
Imagine we were like floodlights. Floodlights is like we don't have the kind of money, not the infrastructure, not the resources, but we somehow pulled it through. We just jugaad lagaya, kuch kiya and all that.
Yes, and that's what we even today cricket.
Is it happening now?
All the cricketing events are conducted in broad daylight because we don't have floodlights, and आपके समय में ये करवाना, I think that's quite an achievement, and that's that will.
बहुत पापड़ बिला उसके लिए. But it was a good one.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, with that, I guess we'll wrap this session up. I don't have words to express my gratitude, sir. Thank you so much for coming. I know you have a jam-packed schedule, and you took time out of that, and you decided to encourage this effort of us. And students, all the chat is filled with, thanks and gratitude. So thank you so much, sir, for coming. And this was an amazing experience. And personally, for me, since I got the chance to directly interact with you, this has been sublime. So thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. Thanks for inviting me. I mean, it's good to share some of the experiences and memories that I have, and I was really happy, in getting connected in one way or another. I never got a chance to go to the college after my convocation, but I would definitely go someday. But in the meanwhile, this is a very good opportunity. I'm very happy for having me over.
And we are eagerly waiting for you to come to our
India
campus, and COVID scenario.
Yeah, I don't get to travel to my hometown. It's been more than a year and a half. But I want to go to college. Novelty. I don't know. Is Novelty still there? The restaurant?
Yes, sir. Novelty is still there. At the same place near the Regal Chowk.
Oh man! पुल के पास एक restaurant था, छोटा सा टपरी जैसा. Like they used to give. We used to go. I mean, like